Hey everybody, what is up? It is the King 4427 bringing you a brand new vlog. Holy crap, it has been so long. I haven't done one of these in a very long time, but here we go. The subject is the developer mentality. Whoa, that's new, but no, okay. So, what is the developer mentality? Well, the developer mentality, if a lot of you are new to gaming, nowadays it is to develop a game, release it to the consumer, unfinished. You build the game, bring it out, put it to people, and then the game has so many glitches and bugs and problems, and the big developers come out and they're like, "We are so sorry, and we will patch it later, and please forgive us. Please play the game. We're gonna fix it. We promise you that we're going to fix it. So play the game." And we're all just getting tired of it, and for the longest time I've been tired of it. I've held off on doing a video like this for a very long time, and I think it's time I finally said some shit. So here we go. A good example of that would be to talk about a game that came out this year that I purchased and I had a ton of problems with. So here we go. With that game in mind, Homefront: The Revolution. This game, there was a lot of hype coming out for this game. Deep Silver really wanted to push this game out as this huge open world game that was going to be amazing, and it was going to follow up the Homefront franchise, and it was going to turn it into what everybody thought the first one was going to be. That's not what this one delivered. I mean, it delivered a completely different story. And if I'm being honest with you guys, I liked Homefront the first time I played it to the end. That doesn't save it from all the issues it had. I thought the gameplay was enjoyable, creative, but the story for me was kind of shit. But that's just me. Maybe you thought different. Anyway, the main problems I had with Homefront, I took it home, and I finally started playing it. The game had so many glitches that I almost stopped playing it completely and sold the game. And actually, the only reason that I didn't go get my money back the first time around I started playing it was because I live miles away from a GameStop. So I would have to drive out of the country, I would have to drive into town, I'd have to go in, and I'd have to go get the game back and get my money. I wouldn't even get a full refund for the game because they don't do that for broken games anymore because, you know, that's just the mentality today, right? So I pushed myself through it, and here's a good handful of glitches I found in the game. So, one of the most recurring glitches in this game, well, at least it used to be, was that the first time, anytime anything actually happened, when you opened a door to a big room, when a mission started, when a mission ended, when you saved your game, when a loading screen started or ended, the game would pause for 5 to 10 seconds. Anytime you finished like a major objective, the game would like freeze for 5 to 10 seconds, and I thought the game was going to break after the first time I did that, but no, it just stopped and picked up. And this would happen every single time, and considering how fast some of the missions were, it got repetitive pretty freaking quick. Considering that I wanted to do everything in the game, like, you know, I'm a completionist, you know? And with a game like this, I was like, yes. But that's just one of the glitches. It's one of the biggest glitches, but it's just one of them. There was another glitch I experienced where I walked into a building, and I'm not saying that I walked through a door, I'm saying I walked through the building, I fell through the game world, and I was stuck. I didn't die, I was stuck, and I had to kill myself with a grenade and hope to God the respawn point got me there. And it did, and I continued the game, but I found another glitch like that where I got stuck on a box. How that happened, I don't know. Just, I got stuck on a box. Oh dear Lord. There were many other glitches, like one of the smaller glitches I recognized in the game was that when I swapped out stuff on my weapons, like you can mod weapons in this game. It was a very cool mechanic, I thought. When you swapped out sometimes some of the mechanics, sometimes it would do the animation, but it wouldn't happen. You wouldn't swap the mechanic out, so it's like, gotta do it again. Or sometimes it would do it, but it wouldn't show the mod coming off until the animation was over, then the mod just came off. Why? That's really stupid. I don't get... Now, I will give them a little bit of slack because this is the developer's first video game, and considering the development hell this went through, I'm making excuses for this game, but seriously, I'll give them a little slack because it's their first game. That does not excuse them for how broken this game is, but you know, baby's first step. Anyway, The developer Dambuster has agreed to fix this game, and you know what? They did. I will admit, they did. They fixed a lot of the issues I had with the game. They said they fixed over 100 problems with the game on their website. There was like 100 issues with the game that they patched up. That's all well and good, but there shouldn't have been 100 problems to begin with. A few glitches here and there I can understand. I mean, even the oldest of games have glitches. But this bad? For a game like this? Homefront The Revolution's not even that huge of a game. If you really want to compare its open world to a lot of other games, not that great. It's a great open world for the Homefront series, but when you compare it to stuff like Assassin's Creed, Grand Theft Auto, that's kind of unfair, but if you compare it to a lot of the open world games coming out at the time, not even close. And the open world is sectioned off in these little areas, so you barely counts as an open world, you know? And oh god, Homefront, what a disappointment. And it was even more of a disappointment because I picked up another game the same day. I picked up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutants in Manhattan. Now, despite this game being just okay, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it was a beat 'em up. It was a very simplistic beat 'em up where you play as all the turtles and you go down an adventure, you fight all the classic TMNT villains, and there were no glitches. There was no glitches! I didn't fall through the floor, the characters didn't do nothing. It was all good. The only problem, I thought, was sometimes the AI for both sides might have been a little dumb. But aside from that, this game works. And that's a horrible thing to praise a game for, is that it works. Because everything should work day one when you buy it. When you get the game brand new, everything should work. It's like the camera I'm using right now. If I bought this camera day one, the first day it came out, it's like it's a brand new model camera. It's an HD, 1080p, or 4K video or whatever. If this camera didn't work day one and I came to complain, they're like, oh yeah, that's just normal. You know, you have to wait until we have a component. You have to pay $20 and then we'll fix it. Or we'll just mail you the component later, but for now you're going to have to deal with a shitty camera. What kind of thing is that? Why do that? It's a little more flat because I'm talking about a game made by Platinum, who's had a history. You know, they have made some great games, and I don't really remember a lot of them being glitchy. Not that I noticed. None that I played, anyway. But I think my point is that when you make a product, it should work flawlessly. Like, if it's like buying a clock, you know? People don't buy clocks anymore. I have a clock. I expect that fucker to tell me my time. If that thing just started spinning around like crazy until I waited a while and they're like, oh, you gotta get this special thing for it, then, oh, that's a problem. And I understand that we're kind of in that age where people just expect that. We shouldn't expect it no matter what generation. I mean, yeah, you know, the PS4 and the Xbox One are basically just PCs, just console PCs, you know? But don't do that. That's my point. And let's go older. Let's do an older example. Remember this game? The Master Chief Collection. Holy crap, the Master Chief Collection. When this game came out, I got it for Christmas. I was so happy when my family gave this to me. I put it up in my Xbox, and after it took, like, I think it was 80 gigs, 60, 80 gigs, to load this thing into my system. It took a few hours because my system was slow. The multiplayer was destroyed. And not just in co-op, or not just in, like, Slayer and stuff like that. I couldn't play co-op on the campaign because I kept getting kicked out, or my friends kept getting kicked out, and it just really ruined the experience for the longest time. I played the campaigns by myself, but when I have multiplayer optional, and I should expect it to work day one. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what I am saying? Yes, I do believe I know what you were saying. It should work day one. You wouldn't have seen this on the GameCube and the PS2. Got my Evil Dead and my Beautiful Joe game for an example. Beautiful Joe. Evil Dead, great game. Beautiful Joe, great game. I don't notice any glitches. I think Evil Dead's a little more iffy on its graphics and everything, but aside from that, I haven't noticed one real glitch with this one. Beautiful Joe, same thing. Why? Because if the game was released in that era, and if Homefront was made to be on the GameCube, there's no online updates or anything, and it looked like this, people would have been pissed. There would have been public apologies, and Homefront would have gone down as one of the worst GameCube games ever made. Now, and I even saw a video online. I even saw a video online on YouTube. I think it was called Homefront, the worst game I have ever played. That's putting a little too far. Even when I played through the entire game with its glitches, it's alright. I powered through it, but I shouldn't have had to. Companies are just getting too dependent on this idea that it's okay to do this. Even big companies like Capcom, when they released Street Fighter V, there was a lot of missing features, and there was a lot of problems with the multiplayer day one. That's unacceptable. The AAA developers shouldn't do that. They have this pedigree called their entire career. With a name like Capcom, you just say to a gamer, you say Capcom. Immediately they're going to start thinking of their favorite Capcom video game. There are so many to pick from. You could think of any. If you're an old school gamer, you could think of the Disney Capcom games. Or you could think of Street Fighter 2. If you're a modern one, or if you're from my era where I played 3D games, Beautiful Joe comes to mind. Beautiful Joe is one of my favorite Capcom games. And who would have thought that developers would go on to be platinum, but whatever. The point is, these guys have a reputation, and if they do not hold up on that reputation, their name means nothing. Like Sega. Sega had a reputation. Then Sonic Boom happened. I'm not saying Sonic Boom was the one that killed it and ruined their reputation. Absolutely, they've released a lot of shoddy games based on their main franchises. Some of their other games that weren't new were okay, but their main Sonic franchise games have just been like Sonic Boom. When it was released day one, I wanted to get it. I was so excited to get it, and then I started watching a person play it on YouTube because I had heard some really shoddy things about it. The first time I was watching the playthrough, I watched 20 minutes of this video. Somebody fell through the floor. Instantly, they were yucking it up like, oh, this is hilarious, this is completely ridiculous. Then, they activated a glitch where they just used an ability to flip to the end of the game. What is that? What is that? I mean, the game's patched up now, but it's still a terrible, terrible game because it's unfinished. If they had just held on to these games, if Homefront had a few more months to cook, if Dambusters had just gone to Deep Silver and they were like, please, listen, we would love to release the game now. We would love people to experience this game, but it's unfinished. We just need to patch it, we need to fix it, and people will love us more for giving them a product, a good product, something they can appreciate instead of something they will have to hold on to and whine about until the patches come. So far, they've held up on their thing, but do you see what I'm getting at? Don't release an unfinished game and say we're going to patch it later. Because that's how you get games like Star Trek. Yeah, Star Trek the video game. Remember that thing where you could just walk through Spock or Kirk? Yeah. The AI lobotomized. Stupid AI. Broken. I really wish I could keep going about this, but my point stands. This cannot go on like this. Developers should learn this is wrong. They need to change their mentality. They need to tell their publishers they will not release the game like this in this condition. They will hold off until the time is right for gamers to play it. Because, like I said, when you release a game unfinished, it pisses people off. People are not going to play your game if it has so many glitches. If the game is broken day one, do not release it. I guess one more example wouldn't hurt. Where is it? I apologize. The game I was going to talk about was Mighty Number 9. I got that game, wasn't a Kickstarter or anything. I played it. Not really any glitches happened until one point in the game when it completely froze and erased my save file. Wow. That was patched. Thank God. But you know, that's just the mentality. Not from that company. And Nishi Creates helped develop it, and they worked on the Mega Man 9 and 10. They worked on a bunch of Mega Man games. They've worked with this guy. They worked with Inafune before. So, what happened? Anyway, I'll end the video here with this. Developers, change your mentality, because this isn't helping anybody. It's not helping you as a company because it shreds your reputation. Then we get games like Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Or not Syndicate. Yeah, Syndicate. It ruins your reputation. And we just don't trust you anymore after that. And when we stop trusting you, we stop buying your games. We're going to move on to somebody else. Maybe somebody less credible, but at least they didn't pull any of the shit that you did. Thank you guys for watching. This is King4427, signing out.